Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to round 7 of the Envy Simsports International Sports Car Challenge, sponsored by WBM Racing. WBM, we build memories. A absolutely fantastic iRacing team with the best merch on the planet. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Road America today for round 7, and if you didn't know already, this is a mixed class series, certainly one of the more fun ones on the schedule, with having the LMP hybrids and also the GT3s here intact. But Rob, I gotta say, Road America, this is a track on the Princess approved list. I think it may even be on yours as well. Tell us a little bit about this track.
Yeah, Zippy, if anybody caught our broadcast Tuesday night, I think I actually proclaimed it was the greatest track in the world, and I stand by it. It always produces great racing no matter what cars we bring here, whether it's GT, machinery, open wheel cars. It's great. 4 miles, 14 turns. You get about 4 or 5, I should say 3 or 4 great overtaking opportunities, another 5th one if you really want to push it. So I expect to see lots of competition out here tonight, plenty of overtaking opportunities. So hopefully we get some good racing.
Well, certainly you say 5 is questionable, so I'm pretty much seeing it's down, for me, guaranteed 5 opportunities. But Rob, let's take a quick look at the schedule, where they've been and where they are going to be going next. Indeed, certainly some good tracks. Road Atlanta, the best track on the planet. Sorry, Rob, you've been overruled on that one. Was for round 1, with round 2 taking us to Sebring. Round 3, another fantastic, actually the first 4 rounds are just Zippy approved tracks here. Round 3 was Daytona, with round 4 taking us to Watkins Glen. Round 5, Hockenheim. That produced a lot of good action, with round 6 having that longer race at Le Mans. As we had a look at round 7, that's where we are today for Road America, before we head over to Japan for round 8 at Suzuka. Round 9, definitely not Rob's favorite, but certainly one of mine, is Spa, with Aragon, Imola, and Fuji closing out the season. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But very, very quickly, let's take a look at the points and then get onto the grid.
Definitely, Zippy. First up, we have the LMP field, where Alberto Alvarez leads the way with 137 points over Jordan Boisvert, 106 in second place. Morgan Smith looking tidy in third, 88 points, just ahead of Ethan Reed in fourth with 78 points. We find Wyatt Hudo in fifth, Parker Dime in sixth, Tyler Watson in seventh. No doubt some penalty points hurting Tyler's point total right now. Austin Diltz in eighth, Stephen Finch in ninth, and then rounding out the field, Matija Grabovic and Gabriel Crozer.
Well, that is indeed the GTP LMPH. As we have a look at the GT3, we've got Michael Morbeto, who has actually joined WBM. He was scouted, ladies and gentlemen. He's there at the top of the standings for 180 points. Daniel Pino takes second with 113, with Pedro da Silva, my apologies, Pedro. He's there in third. Malik Bass takes fourth. Chris Rise, always frequent in the chat, he's there in fifth. You can see a couple of battles. Actually, Steve Susanna and Jacob Fury, they're going at it pretty close as well. But we should probably take a quick look at the grid as well. I gotta say, fantastic track, certainly one that we actually agree on as well. Not that Rob's got bad taste, he just doesn't appreciate necessarily the same things as I do. Road Atlanta. But Parker Dime is going to be on the top spot for WBM, with Alberto Alvarez, certainly your championship leader right now. He's in second. Ethan Reed takes third. Morgan Smith is there in fourth, with Jordan Brasvar actually surprisingly far back for him. I honestly would expect more from him. He's in fifth, with Tyler Watson, the jumpstart extraordinaire, in sixth.
And then we see Michael Morbeto leading off the GT3 field, Zippy, followed by Malik Bass. Nice qualifying by Malik this week. Daniel Pino in third. Kyle Mills going to start fourth in GT3. Gene McClune in fifth. Jakob Fury in sixth. Patrick Rich in seventh. Javi Sierra eighth. Steve Susanna in ninth. Right now at the top 10, we got Chris Rise.
We have a look at P11, the man, the legend, Mr. Fozzie Fazillo. He's there alongside Michael Manarino. Guillermo Paré, he takes 13th. I believe that might be a new driver for us, Rob. With Frank Manarino in 14th. Bell Gable takes 15th, with Tristan Lewis back in 16th. And as we have a look around, more GT3s. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Kronk in 17th, with Bernardo there in 18th. Bernardo Drogmuller is there in 18th. In 19th, you got Kevin Gettenberg, and then Rob Campbell going to be doing a bit of multitasking today. He's there in 20th.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time I commentated and raced at the same time, Zippy, so.
Honestly, Rob, haven't seen your talent in some of these races. I'd stick to just doing just one thing there, buddy. But certainly, yeah. If you ever want to watch a guy who actually can drive, who just has a Muppet factor involved when it comes to official races, Rob is your man. Certainly check out Double Apex Gaming, I believe it is. I think it's Double Apex Gaming on Twitch and Double Apex on YouTube. By all means, check him out. Not just physically, you can if you like. Feel free to harass him. I'm not going to do anything about it, but certainly have some fun with that. I know I certainly do. and check him out in some of his antics there. But I gotta say, Rob, it's looking like a fantastically beautiful day here at Road America, and I believe the sun is just going down. What have you got for a time of day here, sir?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I checked the practice was in, what was it, 1 p.m. So it looks like we've gone ahead a whole bunch of time here, Zippy, into the evening hour. Looks like we are 5:48 in sim time. So April 25th, I guess it's a sunset in just outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, certainly it is a beautiful view, and there you go. The lights are already on, ladies and gentlemen. We are indeed going to see even more razzle-dazzle at the Envy Simsports Sportscar. I can't even say it's Sportscar Challenge. Certainly, I'm having a lot of fun with that. And you can see them GTPs looking to really get some heat in the tires, or indeed, they're doing a little bit of a cha-cha-cha. Certainly, if it was, that was very much out of time. But you know what? Not everybody has had some ballroom dancing lessons, ladies and gentlemen. But as we have a look back at the GT3 field, Michael Morbedo proudly representing WBM Racing there. Oh boy, you see WBM closing out the front grid. But I gotta say, Mr. Morbedo, you are out of uniform there, sir.
Yeah, he hasn't received his unis from Morgan Smith, I guess.
Certainly, he's going to have that on the list of things to do. But Alberto Alvarez, you can see him there. He's lingering at the front. Parker Dime getting that front spot today. Actually, I believe he's out of uniform as well. Morgan Smith, he's gracious with the bright green and black paint again today. Honestly, I think that's my favorite combination he's bringing us so far. Certainly, he is the man that makes all of the paints here, and he spends a painstaking amount of time doing them. So certainly, there is a lot more to it than meets the eye, which can be said for a few people. As we look back at the GT3 field, I can tell where Chris Rise is. He's in the 211, 911, ladies and gentlemen, back there in P10 full class. And you see there Kyle Mills as well. These guys really enjoying the photo opportunity. I believe that was a friendly wave to the fan, but he may have been flipping somebody off.
I've got a fan actually going into the 4K porta potty once, Zippy. So those fans sometimes like to move around and kind of harass the drivers as they're coming through the kink in the carousel section. But looks like we got the GTP field heading into Canada corners. So only a couple more corners left on this full pace lap before we're getting fired up for another. I suspect it's going to be brilliant again this week, Zippy. So I'm holding a lot of faith into our drivers to put on a show.
Oh, actually, I was just thinking about the start, and I see that the 92 Tyler Watson has not taken to the start, so I do wonder what's happening there. Maybe he has a penalty. I'll have to have a little dig around for it, see if I can find something. But definitely, there was some questionable starts from him. I'm not the man who does the steering, ladies and gentlemen, and for good reason. Certainly, I'm not saying that I could be bribed, but I would consider it, for the right amount. That's why we don't do it. When it comes to politics, we're straight as a die. If it comes to race control, we're straight as eyes. Anyway, we just like to make the joke. But you can see here, there's going to be a start zone, ladies and gentlemen. Parker Dime, he's currently holding that pace car speed. Morgan Smith there, sitting ready. Barney's there with the green flag, and it is a long straight at Road America. These guys are going to be itchy on the trigger finger, not just because they're American, ladies and gentlemen, but because they are keen to go, and go, baby, go. Parker Dime absolutely thundering down the front straight. You can see there Alberto Alvarez trying to make a move on the outside. Ethan Reed, he's going to be on the inside, currently in P3. Morgan Smith choosing to hang back. Definitely a wise move. We've seen that work out very well for him so far as the GT3s now get underway.
Yeah, it looks like a strong start by Michael Morbedo, going to hold on to his pole position in GT3, but Daniel Pino trying to make a real jump here, up one spot so far, trying to battle into turn one to take that position away, but Malik Bass is going to fall down into third. Looks like a little farther back, we've got some cars bumping and banging, Zippy. We'll see what happened to them in a few moments.
I believe Steve Susanna may have been caught up in that, and potentially Fozzie Fazillo as well. We'll have a look in just a few short moments. We see there Morgan Smith. Something's happened with Parker Dime. He was at the front of that, and he has now dropped all the way back to P5. So I do wonder, there's a bit of cold tires. The 22 gets loose. I believe Jordan Braswell may have just caught up in the 22 of Ethan Reed. We certainly have seen these LMP hybrids on cold tires. They are... honestly, it's like going on ice, really. It really is a very slippery scenario, as we're going to see here. He's just come over there, a little bit too much on the power, spins it round. Thankfully, no damage. I think he was able to avoid the other cars there, so good job there by the GTPs for going round. But I am curious to see what happened there. It's telling me Tyler Watson was involved in an incident as well, so definitely a pit lane start for him.
Yeah, Tyler Watson did start out of the pit lane. Looks like Michael Manarino might have kicked everything off at the start here as we on board here with Manarino in the black and white Porsche. Makes a move onto the inside of one of the WBM cars, kisses the inside wall, takes out Chris Wise, and it looks like possibly Steve Susanna was wrapped up there too as well. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
So
Fozzie
unfortunate
Fazzillo
start
as
for
well.
them.
I
Fozzie
recognise the gold
Fazzillo,
wheels.
yeah. Yeah, so that's what's happened in our GT3 field to start this one off. But looks like Tyler Watson started from pit lane, so right now he's going to be have to work his way through the GT3 pack to get up to the front pack.
Well, he's definitely going to be at a disadvantage, I suppose. If you jump the start and you're deemed by the stewards to have jumped the start, the penalty was indeed fit for the crime, ladies and gentlemen. And now he is indeed going to have to do all of the work to try and get through. He is literally going to be dependent on errors. And certainly Morgan Smith, he's definitely benefited from that. As we see, looks like they've opened up a little bit of a beach section here, going through probably turns 2, turns 3 here. I didn't see David Hasselhoff there, and if he did, certainly I don't want to go and talk to him. He's a little bit creepy. But you see Jordan Braswell applying good amount of pressure there to Alberto. Well, actually, no, getting good pressure there from Parker Dime. So these two guys, actually 3 of the GTP fields, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, do indeed drive for WBM. You see there, it is indeed a WBM paint. Ooh. And Jordan Braswell going a little bit wide, gets a little bit of clearance, and Parker Dime's going to make a move up the hill on the inside.
Yeah, as it takes us one little mistake here, Zippy, with this caliber of drivers. Poivert goes a little wide, and Parker Dime ready to pounce on that position, and that puts him back up into P2, down 1 spot from where he qualified. So we know he had the speed in qualifying to sit on pole. Now we'll see if he can chase down Alberto Alvarez, who's managed to open up a 2-second gap while the rest of the field in GTP is battled a little bit.
Definitely some good stuff happening in the GTP field, but I'll have a quick look actually at P5 if we can for the GT3s. You can see Kyle Mills there. Looks like he's having a little bit of a battle with Patrick Rich behind him. Now, Patrick Rich is a driver we have seen in officials as well. I believe you was racing against him, Rob. And I don't know if he was Muppet murdered in that race. Certainly, I'm not going to rule it out. Poor guy, I feel bad for him. I can't enter a pit lane without getting a black flag, and he can't do a race without getting Muppet murdered. But certainly, right now, Kyle Mills, definitely, he did switch out from, I can't remember what he was driving. It might have been the McLaren, switched out to the Mustang. Took a little bit of a points hit, but certainly working better for him right now. And he's currently in P5 for the GT3 class, 1.1 seconds back from Gene McLean. Actually, who we did see in another series as well. If you look at Monday nights, we saw him in the Nifty Lift series as well.
Yeah, it looks like, judging by his profile picture here, it looks like Gene McLean came ready for a fight. Zippy, he's got the fighter pilot mugshot going, so kind of fitting. He's rocking the camo paint job in that Porsche just ahead of Kyle Mills and Patrick Rich. So trying to close the gap between Malik Bass up ahead, but right now he's got a battle on his hands with the aforementioned Kyle Mills and Patrick Rich, but it looks like Jacob Fury starting to sneak into that battle too as well. A driver we normally see kind of make his way up towards the front in GT3, kind of usually starts at the back. His qualifying merit not the strongest, usually works his way through the field. His race pace definitely much better than his qualifying pace. So last week, Jacob, I think, got wrapped up in the lap 1, turn 1 incident that we had. So nice to see him getting a little better showing here so far.
Yeah, I do remember Jacob Fury getting, for lack of a better word, absolutely brutally murdered there. As we see Ethan Reed, he's currently, he's managed to sneak ahead there of Morgan Smith. There's been a change of position there for P4, but we do know that Morgan Smith, not only does he have a cheerleading section in the YouTube chat, consistent cheerleading section as well. We'll say Mrs. Morgan for the time being. I don't know her name, and I'm not going to ask. It might come across the wrong way, but certainly she's a lucky lady to have that man. You can keep him, but certainly a lucky lady to have that man. But I do understand as well that, you know, these guys, you know, they do work hard, certainly, to make this stuff come together. Certainly, Mo puts in a lot of work behind the scenes as well, as does a big shout out to John Cannon as well. But right now, we're going to take a look back at P15. Bernardo Drogmiller, he's currently having a battle with Joseph Kronk.
Yeah, tight battle between these two here. You see the two different cars, the Ferrari of Kronk trying to hold off the Acura of Drogmiller. Looks like they were fairly safe on time down the front straight. As we see Kronk going to go off track, that's going to allow Drogmiller to go up top, but something happened to Tristan Lewis falling back through the field. Actually, looks like connection issue too as well. He's back on track just ahead of Morbetto. Oh, looks like Morbetto spun. I think that might have been Manarino. It was Frank Manarino into the wall. See if we can pick up what happened there in a second here.
Okay, so from what I can see, there's something going on with Michael Morbetto and Daniel Pino, because I did see Daniel Pino, these guys just passed him. Fair play to Pino, he did stay put. It was a safe rejoin, but I think we need to go back just a little bit further and find out. Whoops. A little bit too keen there, Daniel, but let's go back a little bit further. So, okay, they're side by side, just to go up over the hill. Oh. That looked like a little bit of inside car physics, just the softest of taps, and round they both go. Morbetto keen to get turned around. Thinks better of it, thankfully.
Oh, there's Lewis.
Not my favorite rejoin, I'll admit. And there you go. There comes the Ferrari.
And
it's Manarino behind him. We're going to see these guys have an incident in just a second.
And it's Manarino in the white Ferrari just ahead. Looks like he just goes wide. And then, oh, he tried to give Lewis some space and unfortunately pulled right over in front of Morbetto, and not much he could do at that point in time.
It was indeed a little bit like a chain reaction, ladies and gentlemen, as we got Austin Dilts in the chat saying, let's go WBM. I got a better one for you, Austin. Why aren't you in here driving, sir? You had incredible pace. Certainly, we've seen podium potential from you. Come on in and join the race, sir. By all means, we'd love to see you back out there. But definitely, you know what that has done is it's mixed up the order for GT3. And right now, Malik Bass is actually leading. That's a fair play to him. But the closest battle we got right now is indeed between Patrick Rich, Kyle Mills, and Jakob Fury. And I believe Jean McLean is leading that charge as well. So right now, they are all trying to make the charge on the 191 of Malik Bass. As you see on the inside, Patrick Rich is going for it against Kyle Mills. Not quite able to get it done as they're heading down to the left-hander.
Yeah, it's a battle for second in GT3 right now. So Malik Bass opened up a little bit of a gap over G. McLuhan, but McLuhan's been able to pull away from this battle between Mills, Rich, Fury, trying to chase down the lead. Puts Malik in a Corvette up there. So we got 4 different makes here in a battle, Zippy. That's what we'd like to see, multi-class racing, multi-vehicle racing. But looks like Mills feeling a ton of pressure right now from Patrick Rich. Excuse me, Patrick Rich. But Rich, Jesus, tripping over my tongue here. Patrick Rich putting a ton of pressure on the back of Kyle Mills.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Robert, it was a poor job of pronunciation. So, you know, if you're going to get some names wrong, that isn't the one I was going to be predicting. But certainly something has indeed happened to the number 9 car of Jordan Brasvar. I'm not quite sure what. I'm not seeing a crash warning for him. I don't know if you see anything on your end there, Rob, but I am curious to see why he is now potentially disconnected in that BMW. As you see, a whole stream of confetti coming up from these cars. Definitely some gravel on the track in the final turn, but the battle continues between Kyle Mills and Patrick Rich.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything pop up right now, Zippy, but I'll keep looking to see if I can find anything, see if we can nail down what happened to Jordan Boyer. But this battle is still our closest one on track, although it looks like possibly something just happened to Kevin Gettenberg. Oh, he popped into the pits. He might be an early undercut here. I'm not sure if they're in the fuel window, but it looks like Gettenberg, our first car into the pits now. That's going to allow Kronk and Vizillo to move by him up into 17th and 18th overall.
I do have a crash warning for Gettenberg, so I do wonder if he's come to pits for some damage. I didn't see a meatball flag on him though, but let's have a quick look here. So here you got Kevin Gettenberg. He's there in that Porsche looking, oh, just dipped the wheel, I think. Yep, that's it, dipped the wheel, got a little bit loose. 7 up, I don't know. I don't know if he's got 7 people in that car, but certainly power to him if he has. Able to keep it back away from the wall though. I'm not quite sure why he's pit, but right now in 3rd place, Kyle Mills for WBM. But gotta say, let's give Malik Bass a little bit of love there, leading the GT3 field. Fantastic job, and he's not only that, he's pulling away from the 992 of Jean McLean.
Yeah, it looks like unfortunately Patrick Rich had an issue as he was trying to chase Kyle Mills into turn 5. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he's going real wide. Oh, Fury coming up out of nowhere, tags the back end. That's probably going to have Fury a trip to the stewards room after the race, but that's what's dropped Patrick Rich back a few spots.
I definitely believe that dinner may be involved in that one first before getting such a ramming of such a nature, but definitely not what these guys were looking for. I'm checking in very quickly as well. You see Jakob Fury, he's got Javi Sierra behind him, so he's definitely motivated to get going. I do kind of want to have a look at the front bumper of the Jakob Fury car, the number 20 there, because I do wonder if there was maybe some netcode involved. I'm looking to see if we got any damage on that. From what I can see,
yeah, on the right front,
that actually looks pretty clean. I'm not seeing any damage.
The right bumper, front bumper, and fender are pushed in. You can see the wheel kind of sticking out there. So he definitely got some damage. We can probably try and find a replay from Patrick Rich's rear wing here. If you give me 1 second, Zippy, we can see the extent of the full impact by that McLaren.
Oh, it was definitely a deep impact for sure. Here we go. This is the rear wing, or what's left of it, of Patrick Rich. He's currently resting back down in P7 class. You see a couple just come in so much speed, tags the left rear corner, and round he goes. I think that's pretty cut and dried for the stewards. have a little bit of a questionable rejoin there. I don't think I would penalise it by any means. It was no incident involved, but maybe would have held back a little bit there. But right now, your Cup Fury is nursing that damage on the right front corner. Keen eye there by Rob Campbell, and he has Javi Sierra right behind him now. We've seen Javi Sierra. He's always up for a battle. He's putting some good efforts. But right now, Jean McLaren very much under attack here from Kyle Mills. And I gotta say, if you look at the I rating, so Kyle Mills is about 1900 I rating, ladies and gentlemen. He is going up against a 3200 I rating driver, and I've got to say, he's doing a fantastic job to be able to stay with him. I know I certainly couldn't.
And anybody that's watched you drive, Zippy, would confer the same. But
Tuesday night.
Looks like we got Parker Dime has made his way up front when we were watching those battles in GT3. He's gotten around Alberto Alvarez, and now Alvarez begins to try and chase down Parker Dime to get back up top.
Well, we are going to see the lap traffic come into play here. You got the number 8 of Michael Morbedo just ahead. Certainly, he'll be keen to get out of the way as we've got a replay here of Parker Dime. Let's take a look as he goes past Alvarez. You see Alvarez gets held up. Oh, that's a little bit of contact there. Naughty boy. He's having a little bit of a tag with the Ferrari as they split the middle. That McLaren must feel like it's sat on the sofa with a bunch of guys behind him, and fair play. That's Fozzie Vasillo, who definitely would have been feeling a little bit tight at that scenario, but they managed to make it by. All cars did survive, albeit feeling maybe torn up a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of GT3s wondering why they didn't get a kiss before that happened, Zippy, but no doubt Parker Dime might be sending some chocolates their way after the race, but he's got himself back up front. He's making his way around Patrick Rich, and now I believe that is Guillermo Perez just ahead, the new driver into the league this evening here, Zippy. So nice to see him having a nice battle out there, but I believe he got wrapped up in something early on. Right now he's sitting a little farther back in the pack in 7th place. So we'll see how he actually, sorry, I got him mixed up with somebody else. He's up 7 spots from where he qualified, Zippy, into a 7th overall. So he's actually, I believe, our second biggest mover right now. Tristan Lewis and Bernardo Dragomiller are both up 8 spots.
Fantastic stuff. Certainly Daniel Pino has indeed fell through the order, as had Michael Morbedo. Certainly these guys were a little bit higher up. As you see the GTPs, for lack of better words, very aggressive as they're making their way through. And it does start the whole multi-class battle. Certainly anybody who's ever done a multi-class race, you have different perspectives. You're in the GT3. It doesn't matter if you have the right to the line. The GTPs will... Sorry, if you're in the GT3 and you will feel that you will have the right to line, and you're right, you do, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get it. And the GTPs, for lack of better words, they do not care about your race. As we see here, Tristan Lewis, that is not a good rejoin right in front of Daniel Pino. He's going to need a change of shredder. Certainly, that was not what he was looking for. The 63 car, definitely having a code brown right there, as we see, actually, there's somebody off back in the background again there.
That was still Tristan Lewis getting turned back around, I believe. Kicking up a whole bunch of dust, yeah. But yeah, it's I said it early on. We got that's Bell Gable, yeah, heading off track 2 as well. He's back on, but he's going to lose a spot to Joseph Kronk.
Well, certainly these guys, if the sand was fireworks at the minute, I'd start to think it was the 4th of July or indeed Guy Fawkes Day, or pick any cause of celebration. Let's see what happened to Tristan Lewis here. You can see that's Morgan Smith ahead of him. Just gets the car a little bit over-rotated there. Keen on the power. I do wonder if he's running a lower downforce setup. Generally with a higher downforce, you wouldn't tend to have an issue there. Not that far into the straight. You see there the rejoin in front of Pino. Definitely not my favorite, I've got to admit.
Yeah, luckily it looks like Pino had enough. It was in a part of the track where it wasn't as hilly. He was able to have a clear vision of Lewis coming back on and was able to account for that rejoin. But looks like Cobb Fury now still trying to fight off Javi Sierra after that incident he had with Kyle Mills not too long ago. Was definitely feeling a little bit of aero effects from that punched in right front corner. But Javi Sierra looking strong, and behind him that second Corvette we have on the grid.
Yeah, I'm have to wonder, because Javi Sierra, generally, he's a guy who will go for that pass, but honestly, at this point, I think he's just saving fuel. Obviously, your Cup Fury's not slowing him enough that he's able to, like, absolutely slingshot past, so maybe looking at the long game is a 999 Corvette.
Yeah, it's definitely a plan, but I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back, Zippy. I said this track always breeds exciting race with lots of action. We have seen nothing non-stop here for the first 16 and a half minutes of this race. We still got another 25 minutes to go.
I don't know about your math there, Rob. I'm thinking about 30 minutes.
Oh,
Actually, 28
yeah, 30,
minutes.
30. There we go.
I'm being pedantic and,
I mean,
for lack of better words, it's a bit of an arse move, but certainly busting the balls here of my comrade. But right now, Jakob Fury, he is indeed in the closest battle right now. He's still got Javi Sierra behind him. Other battles going on. We've got Joseph Kronk and Bell Gable as well. As you see there, Alberto Alvarez currently leading the GTP field. Parker Dime right behind. These guys have been swapping backwards and forwards for a little bit now, but let's have a quick look at the replay here. As you see Parker Dime getting passed by Alvarez.
yeah, it looks like Dime dropped a couple tires into the dirt in turn one. That's all Alvarez needed to make that move, but a little bit of contact there. Dime trying to cross him back over, but Alvarez and that Ferrari able to get a nice run out of turn two.
Feisty. That's the best way I think I could describe that. But good action here. Certainly the GT3 field being the closest battle today. The GTP is not quite the popular choice, and I have to think that's to do with the new tire model as well. You see Daniel Pino making his way back round Bernardo Drogmuller, who was actually the hard charger. Actually, looking at it, he still is the hard charger on my screen. Up 7 spots, ladies and gentlemen. Fair play to him. He's keeping that 911 that Acura very, very clean. As you see, Tyler Watson there still making his way through the GT3s, but he is indeed in 5th, albeit about 50 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if how close Watson's able to get towards the end of the race, but still a long ways to go right now for him to try and open up that gap. But looks like once Alberto Alvarez got around Parker Dime this last time, he's been able to open up a bit of a gap over Dime. He's got that now to just over 1.2 seconds as they're working through the lap traffic of Kevin Gedenberg. We saw Gedenberg, our early driver, into the pits after that off track, so I'm not sure if he was in the fuel window, Zippy, but it's going to be a massive undercut attempt if he was within the pit window and in that early.
Well, I don't know if it's going to pay off for him, but I do kind of want to get a better look at the left front, the left side pod there of Parker Dime's car, because it might be me, Rob, but I have suspicion that there may be damage on that, and certainly with the way he's been trading paint today, it wouldn't surprise me. Certainly we're having a quick look here. It may just be the curvature of the car. Rob, I know you know these better, but no, I'm pretty sure that left side is dented. If I have a look at the right,
yeah, it looks like it's pushed in a little bit there. Yep. Yeah, if you look at the rocker board, it should be straight, and it's got a nice bend upwards in the middle of it on the left side. So it might have been when we saw Alvarez make the overtake onto Dime. Looked like Dime was trying to cut back on the inside. Looked like it rubbed a little bit, but I thought it was a little farther forward. So it might have been another instance, but definitely a little bit of aero damage on the side of that Cadillac for Parker Dime.
Oh, I'm going to call it active aero, ladies and gentlemen. He actively modified it. As you see here, Fozzie Fazzillo is now involved in a battle. Like I say, this sunset conditions making for some very beautiful racing. As you see there, Daniel Pino just ahead of him. Bernardo Drogmuller, he's about 1.75 seconds back. So certainly Fozzie Fazzillo, if he can stay onto the back of Pino, this could be beneficial for him. He's about 9/10 of a second behind. He's in a McLaren versus the AMG. Now, Rob, I know you know these GT3s a little bit better, but from my understanding, the AMG is a bit of a beastie on the straights.
It's, yeah, it definitely has the legs in a straight line. It doesn't like to turn all that well, but McLaren is also one of the quickest GT3s in a straight line. So it'll be interesting to see if the McLaren of Fozzie Fazzillo is able to close down any on Pino up ahead. The Mustang, also another one that's great in a straight line, where the Porsches kind of suffer a little bit along with the Acura. They're kind of driving into a wall on a long straight with them, where they really take advantage of braking and turning zones. But it actually looks like Fazzillo, the last couple of corners, has been able to close down a little bit on Pino. So interesting to see if he can get a little closer before they hit into the pits to battle for that's ninth in class, just inside the top 10.
Well, speaking of the pits, I believe a few people have indeed been through there. Tyler Watson, he's been through the pits. I believe I've seen someone else go through. Steve Susanna, I think, has been through the pits as well. A couple of drivers going for the undercut, but right now, Jakob Fury, he's back at it again with Javi Sierra, and Kyle Mills now just ahead, about 6/10 of a second. So this is going to be very interesting. Mills having a good day. He's up on position. He's qualified well. Can he hold on to it? Certainly, Jakob Fury never wanted to put in a keen qualifying lap, but certainly the race car does tend to deliver. Only up 2 spots for the day, but right now the hard charger, the 93, Bernardo Drogmuller.
Yeah, Mills was able to open up a bit of a gap there after he had that incident with Jakob Fury, but it's like Fury and Sierra kind of worked together. They weren't really battling, Zippy. They're kind of working together, maintaining the draft in the straight. They've been able to reel back in the Mustang of Kyle Mills. So it'll be interesting to see comparison here between the Mustang, the McLaren, and the Corvette. See which one kind of works out a little better here at Road America. I would have actually put my money on the Mustang or the McLaren as the Corvette. Generally, it's kind of a middling car. It does well in the twisty sections, not the greatest on the brakes, and not the highest top speed out of the car, but in some tracks it really excels. It's like the Road America kind of fitting well for it tonight with obviously her behind the wheel.
Yeah, certainly. I personally myself, the Corvette on GT3, I've not had many races in it, but certainly the GTE Corvette was probably one of my favorite cars in the sim. Not my complete favorite, but it was up there. I always tended to have a good time driving it, certainly taking it through the Daytona 24-hour on a couple of occasions. But you see Alberto Alvarez, this is your outright race leader and leader of the GTP LMPH class. And you can see there, absolutely snaking by those GT3s past Frank Manarino. He's glad there by cleanly, and not only that, before turn one, but you can see the gap there, only about 6 tenths per second as Parker Dime running a little bit wide, but still very much able to keep in the draft. I do wonder if he's going for fuel saving technique. And a little note as well, all of these drivers do have one fast repair available, and I can see very quickly here that has already been used by Chris Rice. He's had one. Michael Manarino, Steve Susanna, and Frank Manarino all taking part of that. Jordan Smith, we're still not sure why he bailed out a couple of laps in.
Yeah, I was unable to find anything what happened to Jordan Bovair, so might have been just he had to attend to something zippy at this point in time, but we'll have to wait and see if he mentions anything in chat. I know in the past when he had to duck out, he came in and said something in chat, so we'll see if he pops in later on.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we've got a little bit of a moment, Rob, let's have a quick chat here with Tyler Watson. Now, Tyler, we did see you started from the pits. Can you tell us a little bit about what's been going on there?
So, as you know, last week, I completely missed the memo on the new starting tactic and accidentally murdered Parker. It was 100% on me. So I got a penalty for the start, which I 100% agree with, so I had to start in the pit lane. So, took it on the chin. Nothing I'm going to complain about after what I did last week, so trying to take what I'm working with, trying out a strat that may or may not work. But my pace isn't horrible, but I'm just going to try to see if I can not get lapped. Most likely am, but just try to stay on the lead lap and just finish this race.
Well, certainly some very achievable goals, and I appreciate the honesty as well. Certainly some drivers will, they believe they have done absolutely nothing wrong, which, you know what, sometimes it's hard to accept criticism, guidance, or the fact that, plainly put, you just went and pooched it. But it's fair to say, you know, you've learned from that, you've developed from that, and you've got clear goals for the race, so power to you. You know, as you can see there, nice line through turn one, very nice, just amount of runoff as well. But Tyler, we're going to leave you to it. Certainly, you managed to snake up one position from Jordan Braswell. We're not quite sure why he quit. I don't know if you have anything on your end. If so, please fill us in.
I do not. I was in call with Alberto, and even he said he has no clue. He just quit. So I don't know. Nobody knows. So I guess until Jordan tells us himself, we shall never know.
Well, certainly good news for you on that aspect there as you're up one position. We're going to leave you to it, Tyler. Good luck with the rest of your race.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Watson driving this, the number 92 there, the Ferrari GTP. I gotta say, it's a beautiful car, but at the LMPH field, I'm disappointed we don't have an Acura on the grid. Certainly that's the one I've driven, not as much as the BMW, but the Acura, probably my favorite looking GTP.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising too, because for a number of seasons, the Acura was the preferred car, the OP car, as they would say, Zippy, for a number of seasons. And I think iRacing finally knocked it down a peg, make it a little more respectable amongst the rest of the field, not having that much of an advantage. But looks like while we were talking to Tyler Watson, something happened to Parker Dime. It's dropped him back off of Alberto Alvarez here.
You can see there, he's going around turn one and carried a little bit too much on the runoff there. Dips a wheel. It's not enough that I would flag that. Let's see what happens in turn two. Nice clean line, looking good. Hard on the power, using just the right amount of runoff. Everything's looking good. You can see Alberto Alvarez there ahead. Let's have another look at this clip, see if we can figure out what happened to Parker Dime. He's about, oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Carried a little bit too far around that final turn. And Rob, I have a bit of a suspicion there about that left rear corner. I'm wondering if he's picked up a little bit more damage.
It's possible the amount of off tracks he's had here the last couple moments, Zippy. He definitely is pushing the boundaries on the damage. It looks like it maybe slightly might be pushed in a little bit more, but he's definitely the arrow is hurting on this this car. If I was Parker, my strategy right now, assuming he's got a button map to tell him if he's got damage on the car or not, I'd be opting for a little bit of an undercut here. I come in, get my service done, utilize my fast repair, get the damage repaired, and try and mount another charge back on Alberto Alvarez as he's actually pulling Alvarez back in as they work around Tyler Watson there in the lap traffic.
I think it's one of those things where if he can stay in the draft, it might just be enough that he's been able to stay with it. And don't get me wrong, I agree with you, try and get that undercut. But if by doing so he loses the draft, it may affect his long-term race. So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. You know, I'm not quite sure how I play it, but certainly he's doing a respectable drive. But already he's dropped back 1.8 seconds. I don't know what's happened to him, but I think it's fair to say he's definitely picked up a bit more damage, or it's developed a little bit further on that left side of the Cadillac.
Yeah, the Cadillac definitely isn't overly happy, Zippy, but this battle between Mills, Fury, and Sierra is still going on, although Sierra dropped off a little bit back off of Jacob Fury. He's now having to deal with Patrick Rich, who's trying to recover from his earlier incident on, and right now put the pressure on Javi Sierra into turn one.
Well, certainly Javi Sierra, he's been going at it with Jacob Fury for the most part, but Jacob Fury has said, you know what, I've had enough of Javi Sierra. I want to have a crack at Kyle Mills, as you see there, pushing that McLaren very wide, dips a little bit of a wheel, see the little bit, the bum wiggly there, thankfully able to keep it in check. Certainly Shakira would have approved of such a move, but you can see there, we've got two battles happening in the GC3 field, actually the only battles happening on the track right now, and they're all in one shot, ladies and gentlemen. This could get spicy.
Yeah, definitely. We got the McLaren battling with the Mustang, and then we've got a Porsche battling with Corvette. So 4 different makes battling out here. Although it looks like, I thought Fury was making a move on the inside of Mills up ahead, but Rich looks like he was actually able to get around Sierra into turn 5 there. So we'll see if Sierra's got anything to offer back to try and cut back over. But looks like Rich nicely defensive there and starting to pull away from Sierra. So we'll see if Javi Sierra is able to tow along behind Patrick Rich, catch up to the battle between Mills and Fury, just 1.6 seconds up the track.
Yeah, definitely. If those guys work together, they can indeed catch up to that other battle, and it will be beneficial for both of them. I wouldn't mind a replay of that, actually, Rob, if we get the chance. But certainly some interesting things. I can tell you that Alberto Alvarez has put as well. Here's a replay of, as you go down long straight there, you see using the Porsche, getting the braking done, cuts the curb nicely, gets it done. It's clean, fair play. Javi Sierra accepts the defeat and carries on. Despite that, Patrick Rich still takes the defensive line just to really make sure he could seal the deal. But right now, your GT3 race leader, Malik Bass, doing an absolutely fantastic job. He's put away a 3.7 second gap over Jean McLaren. That's incredible considering the iRating. Malik Bass, 2000 iRating. Jean McLaren, 3200. I'm guessing that this track maybe not on McLaren's Princess approved list, as we see people coming into the pits now. That's Kyle Mills, and right behind him is Parker Dime. Let's keep a close eye on Dime, especially if we can see that left side. I want to see that damage get fixed. That left rear corner. I'm keen.
Well, let's see. He should be popping in, presuming he's got his quick repair clicked on, Zippy. So we'll see how quickly the pit crew is to knock that back out. But yeah, it's definitely, you can see from that angle, definitely punched in nicely on the left side and pushed up. So Parker Dime, no doubt, car's going to feel a little different once he gets back on track. But looks like he might have actually even missed his pit stall there for a moment. A whole lot of tire smoke there. But yeah, there we go. A little bit of fuel, and he'll be back out on track. So have to see how he cycles through, as we're still waiting for Alberto Alvarez to take his pit stop. Alvarez coming down the front straight. There's Parker Dime coming out. Alvarez going to retake top spot. It looks like Dime might have lost a little bit of time through his service. Take a quick look at the pit stop times. Looks like Parker Dime 16.5. Alvarez is 17.1. So it's actually quicker stop for Parker Dime, but longer from cone to cone. 15.8 for Parker Dime to Alvarez is 56.5. So that's the difference there in the pit stops.
Well, I can definitely confirm Parker Dime did indeed take that fast repair. As you can see, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to catch up 1.9 seconds to Alberto Alvarez. All he can do is hope that he catches the traffic at the GT3s at the right time. You can see there, Alvarez, he's going to be approaching Kyle Mills next. Now, Mills has just been in the pits with him. Certainly, actually, a couple of the GT3 fields yet to pit. If I have a look, the top 6 yet to come down pit road, as is Bell Gable, actually, who's currently resting in P10. So we're going to see how that works out. But you see there, Alvarez just caught the GT3 at the wrong time. Mills defends it. Oh, he's not really defending. He's looking to try and take his line. Alvarez is not going to like that. Good news for Parker Dime.
Yeah, I think that was a matter of Kyle Mills was thinking, okay, I'm going to move to the outside and let Alvarez through. And at the same time, he decided to move. Alvarez was moving that way too as well. So happens sometimes when you don't have that communication. And fortunately for Parker Dime, that's exactly what he needed to get back in the battle. So see how that car handles now that he's got his aero damage fixed. See if he can able to reel in the Ferrari with his Cadillac.
Well, certainly he's definitely applying the pressure. I am debating, do we want to have a chat with Alberto Alvarez? I'm thinking on this time we're going to say probably not. He's got enough pressure right now. And certainly, you know, we will potentially get to interview him later. We spoke to him a couple of times for sure. But I definitely want to speak to Malik Bass if he can indeed bring this Corvette GT3 home across the finish line. He's got to last about another 12 and a half minutes. Just not that I'm specific there, Rob. About another 12 and a half minutes now to win this GT3 race.
Yeah, just to be absolutely specific, Zippy, you nailed it. So,
attaboy. Oh dear. I can't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. We've done a whole broadcast so far, and we haven't even mentioned just how gorgeous Rob's goatee is. So certainly, if you're wondering, yes, he has a goatee.
Flattery gets you everywhere, Zippy. Flattery gets you everywhere. But it looks like our final GT3, Bell Gable, coming into pit. But look who has made his way up. Oh, hold on. Actually, I spoke too soon. Our top four still haven't came in for service. Still waiting for Bass, McLuhan, Fury, Rich, and I believe actually Daniel Pino, who we normally see on a fuel save run. Pino's fuel saving strategy hasn't worked out the last couple of weeks all that well for him. Zippy worked out real great the first couple rounds of this season, but looks like the rest of the field's kind of caught on to his strategy, and they're pulling Pino back into the battle here.
I've honestly never been good at fuel saving, Rob. And, in a real car, yeah, I can do it. But certainly in a race car, forget it. It's designed to do one thing, and that's go fast. But I do want to have a quick look here at Parker Dime, because that gap has closed down even closer. He's now got it down to just under 0.6 of a second as they're heading towards the end of the lap. They've got about 12 minutes to go. That might not be 100%. 11 minutes to go. I know Rob's going to be really pedantic now that I've called him out on it, and fair play to him. I would as well. But you can see there, Parker doing everything he can. Make sure he can get a really clean exit. He's right tucked up behind that car. 0.4 of a second at the start of the straight. You're going to watch that gap fall down. It's now 3.8 temps, 3.5 temps. You can see him getting ever closer. 3.2 temps and about 3 temps of a second. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see the gains of the draft going down that straight with another GT3 ahead. Can they both get the moves done on that straightaway? You're certainly not going to want to make sure they get it done before the corner, because it will indeed be a little bit of a hold up. And oh yeah, they're going to completely leapfrog by that before they even see the real cheese sign from Sargento.
I've never actually had a Sargento cheese, Zippy. Have you? Is it any good? I'm not sure how it really compares to any of the other brands. Is it one of those overhyped cheese brands? It's got a whole bridge named after it, but
I can't say I'm a cheese connoisseur, Rob, honestly. Maybe a little bit lactose intolerant. If I'm a cheese guy, it's on pizza or spaghetti bolognese or something, or garlic bread, but I'm not a guy who's going to have a cheese sandwich. Not very, very rare. And if I am, it's going to have Branston pickle with it, which is going to mean absolutely nothing to you, I'm sure. Apparently HP sauce as well, not fully understood yet in Canada. Which is a shame, because honestly, if you could get it with like an A&W breakfast or something, they might actually sell some, because otherwise it tastes like shit. McDonald's is the way. Sorry, but we get sidetracked as you see it. Very passionate about food and racing.
Yeah, and we got both on the go right now as Parker Dime closing that gap on Alberto Alvarez up ahead. But they're heading into a section here, Zippy, Canada corner, where they're coming back towards the sun. We'll kind of see as they come around the bend here what the drivers are facing as they head into the final corner, trying to navigate through the lap traffic, and you can't really see. Oh no!
Oh, he couldn't see. The sun was in his eyes, peekaboo, and he lost out of that. And that's definitely not how he wanted to do that. Which that I believe that might have been Jacob Fury there, who's just pulled in. Let's have another quick look here. So it's
Patrick Rich, I think.
Patrick
Rich.
Parker, yeah. Parker tags Alberto. He doesn't realize the GT3 is ahead of him, I don't think. Can we maybe get like a blimp cam or a heli cam for that one?
We certainly can, Zippy. Your request is my command.
Denied. Here you go. So you see Alberto Alvarez puts the hammers on, puts the brakes on. I don't think Parker's quite expecting the GT3. And as much as I'm I'm all for Parker WBM and that one. Sorry, buddy, that is 100% on you. Not what he was looking for, but that is good news for a couple of the drivers. Ethan Reed's been able to capitalize on that, as has Morgan Smith. So certainly Morgan Smith, he's managing to keep it consistent and keeps finding himself on podiums as a result.
I think he actually mentioned to us last week, Zippy, that it's not necessarily the top speed of your car, it's the consistency of it. And this is going to be week number 2 for being Mr. Consistency. He's found himself up onto the podium. So Morgan showing that consistency beats raw speed 9 times out of 10.
Well, now that we've said that, let's hope he can keep it clean. Certainly that Porsche 911 was involved in that lap 1 incident, and attaboy, right on cue. Morgan Smith takes to the grass for a second there. So maybe he was distracted, maybe his missus wants to share the blame there, but no, 100%. It was probably all on him on that one, and fair play to him. But, as man, we have to take responsibility for our actions when forced. But
never admit fault.
Certainly,
never admit fault.
I did actually get told one day. We got some stories right now. We've got a couple of battles going, but this story just comes to mind. I remember I was on loan to the government doing electrical work, and this building superintendent, he said to me, he goes, "You need to learn these 3 sentences. Yes, dear. I'm sorry. And then for bonus points, I understand. If you know those 3 things, you will be absolutely fine." As we see Fozzie Vazzillo being very fine indeed, getting the pass done there on Bernardo Drogmuller. Now, Bernardo was the hard charger. He still is one of them. Right now, Guillermo Pare, my apologies there. The Hispanic driver, he's currently up an incredible 6 spots right now, and the hard charger in the field.
Yeah, definitely. He's got Steve Susanna behind him there, but Susanna down a lap. But I'm interested to hear what the rest of this government job was. If I don't know what government would hire you to work for them, how you would pass any kind of security clearance is beyond me. It must have been a government of Canada job you were doing.
Well, you say that, I was on loan to them. They didn't hire me. So, thanks, Rob. But I believe something's just happened with Tyler Watson. I have got a crash notification. We'll have to check in and see what happened. Something happened with Malik Bass as well. We'll have to check in. So here's Tyler Watson in the Darkwing Racing Machine. Just got a little bit too wide going through Canada corner. Dips it into the sand. Can he keep it clean? Oh, pushed it pretty close. Fair to say that the Ferrari, not the best beach buggy, but a part of the research and development here. As you see, Kyle Mills in 3rd. I do wonder what happened with Malik Bass, though. I did get a warning for lap 19 that he was driving slowly, so he's still out in the lead. I don't know if you got anything on your end, Rob, but thankfully able to stay in the lead.
I have Malik Bass coming in for his pit service in lap 19, so I wonder if that's what you were flagged for there, Zippy.
Actually, only one driver left yet to pit, and that is the 54 of Michael Morbeto. This guy obviously choosing not to pit. We're going to run that tank right at the end. Actually, you better get that done pretty quickly. I don't know for sure about the rules, but if you pit on the very last lap, I don't know if that's still going to count as serving your pit stop.
I have Morbeto's been in for service, Zippy. He was in for 10 seconds, yeah. Yeah, it looks like your timing and scoring might be a hair behind. Yeah, I'm showing Morbeto came in early on, but yeah, he's been in 10-second pit stop for him. Our entire field's been through for their service, so we're good to go to the end.
Interesting. On my end, it says 0.3 for the lane. If he can get through the lane in 0.3, he's an incredibly talented driver. Maybe
he had the very first stall, possibly.
Maybe he just bribed a marshal on the way. Certainly, by all means, ladies and gentlemen, marshals can be persuaded. Just look at Formula One.
Yeah. Just slip
I'm not bitter
Bernie
about the 8-time
$8.
world champion, am I? We weren't, Rob, were we? Yeah, the 8-time world. All right, let's not go down that route, ladies and gentlemen. How do we have a spicy broadcast today? I'm having fun with it, certainly. As we have a look, where is the closest battle right now? We've got a couple on the go. Right now, Parker Dime is indeed in the lead. Alberto Alvarez definitely suffered from that contact. I have a feeling the 57 of Parker Dime will be getting a little bit of a moment from the stewards. Certainly, these guys not a fan of post-race time penalties, and understandably so. I think that's going to affect him on the next race. But you see there, Bell Gable, currently he is in a little bit of a battle there with, if I have a look, Fozzie Fazillo? No, that is
Gedenberg. Kevin Gettenberg.
Gettenberg,
7 Up
my
car,
apologies. Yep. I'm looking. We got Bell and Bernardo. I'm looking at the both of them. As you see there goes Morgan Smith. He's like, later, boys. I'm checking out all the green cars together at one point here.
Oh.
As you see there, that's gone very badly for Gettenberg. He just tipped a tire. They had contact and almost had contact again. Porsche versus Porsche action. Maybe a little bit of friendly fire as they're heading down a double right-hander. These guys are not holding back, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Netco gods let them live through that one, Zippy. I've seen very much minor. I'm a terrible grammar. Zippy.
Spit it out, boy. Spit it out.
I've seen very minor netcode touches and in much more tiers than what we saw there. So nice to see that they were able to touch and keep going, and nobody really lose much other than a couple tenths between them, as it looks like Bell Gable getting a nice run down the front straight, closing that gap on Gettenberg into turn 1. He's not ready to let Gettenberg hold on to that spot as it stands.
Well, we do have a couple things to catch up on. We're going to check in with the GTP battle as well. That's closed down to half a second, but I believe Tyler Watson has towed to the pits. He had another incident. I'm not sure where. We'll check in with that very shortly. But Ethan Reed now applying pressure. Now, is Parker Dime nursing some damage? I imagine the front of that car did very much not like being inserted into the rear of the 29. What I can see, it looks clean so far. The lighting conditions definitely not helping. Beautiful, but not great for spotting damage. You see Ethan Reed, Rob, he's giving him the razzle-dazzle as they go through a high-speed section of the circuit.
It's nice to see Ethan Reed's gone to the Rob Campbell School of iRacing vernacular, and the razzle dazzle is definitely a battle technique, although it looks like it might have shaken Parker Dime a little bit. No doubt that a little bit of damage on the front end of Parker Dime's car is affecting him, but the Porsche of Ethan Reed looking strong here into the final corner. This actually might be the start of our final lap, Zippy. We'll have to see if Barney's got the white flag out on Tuesday night. He wasn't really working for us. Again, it looks like tonight he doesn't want to work for us. But this should be our final lap with 1.5 minutes left to go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, certainly the flag man is indeed on strike. As you see, one of the cars coming out the pits there. Certainly a little bit unfortunate. Let's take a very quick look at the replay, find out exactly what happened to Tyler Watson, who has dropped down through the field. And, well, don't get me wrong, he's still going to be in the same position he was, but he's actually getting passed by GT3s right now. Let's find out what happened to the Dark Ring Racing machine.
Looks like he must have broke the car the last time through the sand trap, because it looked like he just drove straight off the track there, Zippy. And then he jumps to the pit from that point and calls it an evening.
Fair play. He wasn't really in the fight for anything at that point, so I get it. You know what? I definitely get it. But we take a look back at this battle. Parker Dime is going to want to hold on. Again, we didn't see the white flag. It's only iRacing actually gave us that yesterday as well on a broadcast. We didn't see a white flag at all, so I do wonder if iRacing maybe needs to do something with that. That's two broadcasts in a row where the flag man has been indeed on strike. But can Parker Dime hold on? You see Ethan Reed applying the pressure, the Texan driver, and actually missing his teammate. No Wyatt Hudo this evening as well. Certainly these guys are doing very well. As you see Chris Rise there in a 211.911.
Nailed it.
Got it. Took long enough. 7 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. 7 rounds. But able to stay clear of those GTPs.
Yeah, as I head into Canada Corner, we'll see, looks like Ethan Reed doing everything he can to try and shake Parker Dime, even going off into the kitty litter. That's exactly what Dime needed to open up that gap. So this should be the final corner here. So if all goes well, my calculations are correct, as we're over time, this should give Parker Dime the win at Road America.
Oh, we're going to check back in with your flag man. Is he going to wave it? Nope.
No, he's not.
We know it's a checkered flag. You bone-idle Barney. We're calling you out. As we have a look at Malik Bass, he's doing fantastic. He's basically, once he got control of this race, he kept to it, and he's maintained that gap over Jean McLaren. Don't get me wrong, McLaren, the last couple of laps, has reeled him in by a couple of attempts, but not enough. It's an issue. Certainly, if I was in that point, I would just honestly try and keep hold of the car. You can see there, Jean McLaren, take your pick. I don't mind. Currently there in P2. And there's still a couple of corners left to go. Certainly Canada Corner, it's very much a balancing act. You'll see there as we go around, head into it now. Certainly in the GT3s, you can definitely understeer here, and for lack of better words, barbecue those front tyres. Certainly keep it on the food theme, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't say no to a good bit of barbie right now. Not Ken, he's not really my type. Maybe that's for you, Rob. But certainly, you know, Malik has done a fantastic job keeping away the 992 there, and not only that, with the huge I-rating difference between them, an incredible win here looking for Malik Bass.
Yeah, once he got out front early on, Zippy, he just kind of pulled away. I think he's been on just been a conservation drive here the last 10-15 minutes, not really pushing the car, just going as fast as he needed to stay out front. So 2 more corners to go, and that should wrap it up for Malik Bass here this evening. Strong run by Jean McLoon at the end to try and close down that gap, and unfortunately just ran out of time with that Porsche as we see Malik Bass final stretch up the hill and to the flag man will give him round 7 at Road America.
Well, I'm giving gesture to the flag man right now, and it's not one I'm going to share on stream, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, he's been dropping the ball. We paid him absolutely nothing to do a poor job. And you see there, your Cup Fury able to hold on to Michael Morbedo incredibly close at the line, just about a 10th in it. And look at this, 1, 2, 3, and 4 cars crossing the line at once, albeit one of them lapped. Daniel Pino, he was definitely unfortunate, had that early tango? Well, they might have done. Early tangle with Michael Morbedo, the 54 car. Not quite able to re-emerge quite as well, but it's fair play. He's had a good couple of races, but we see there, Morgan Smith right behind his teammate, Fozzie Fazillo.
He's pushing him.
Is he giving him a little bit of love there? I have a feeling Fozzie will be laughing and also sweating at the thought of having Mo that close behind him. You see that? I do wonder if Fozzie's run out of fuel and Morgan's trying to push him over the line. He's out of fuel. Hang on.
Oh, they're going to go door to door. Oh, Facila's going to spin him.
Well, I can confirm that Fozzie Fazillo is still running. They must have finished their lap already. Certainly, they're having a good bit of fun there. Definitely playing with, I'm going to rephrase that, having a little bit of banter there. You can see some donuts going up. Oh my gosh, we got a smoke show over there. There's a bit of bumper hanging off. The WBM guys, they, oh, boink. They were having their own little McDonald's parking lot party there. Let's get more food later. McDonald's need to sponsor me a gift card at this point. They got 2 good mentions here. One of them was a bit more of a pikey, but if you just notice very quickly, they are all the American cars, ladies and gentlemen.
What are you trying to say there?
That Americans like doing burnouts and donuts. Let's get a Dunkin' put on the side of the cars.
Well, there's the results, Zippy. Parker Dime brings it home, but no doubt we might see him in the steward's shed after trying to explain why Verstappen took Hamilton out. Why he was involved with Alberto Alvarez. But Ethan Reed's going to bring it home second, Morgan Smith in third, Alvarez in fourth, and then Watson and Bovair didn't see the checkered flag.
Definitely not what they wanted to have. Still looking for an APB about what happened to Jordan Martin. We're still a little bit unsure. But see Malik Bass able to get the win. Boy, that might be I'm pretty sure that's his first win here. We've seen him get better and better throughout the series and taking a podium. Fantastic stuff. If you're listening to the broadcast, Malik, get your ass here in the interview room. We definitely want to have a chat with you. Jean McLaren, he takes second with Kyle Mills in third. Well done that. Your Cup Fury, he got caught in an incident as well, but managed to maintain P4 at least for now. Michael Morbedo takes fifth with Javi Sierra in sixth. Guillermo Paret, first time here, gets a nice tidy 7th place with Patrick Rich in 8th. Daniel Pino in 9th, and Chris Rice closing out the top 10.
Yeah, Fozzie Fazil brings it home P11 with a little bit of theatrics at the end with teammate Morgan Smith, Bernardo Dragamiller in 12th, Tristan Lewis in 13th, Kevin Gettenberg, 14th, Bell Gable, 15th, Steve Susanna in 16th, Joseph Kronk, 17th, and then Michael Manarino, Frank Manarino, and hey, look at myself, I didn't make the checkered flag, Zippy.
Nah, definitely not. But we are going to have a quick chat here with Kyle Mills. Now, Kyle, we certainly, if I remember rightly, you started with the McLaren. If I'm not, it was a McLaren Corvette.
No, baby, we've been rocking the Bald Eagle machine all year.
Okay, so somebody else switched. That might have been Carl Buchel. My apologies there, but certainly the Bald Eagle machine. You must watch Cletus McFarland or something. If not, you need to. Certainly, you guys would definitely get along. The Freedom 500.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay, he knows. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely check out Cletus McFarland, and we're going to send him a clip of this to say we've advertised him, see if he can return the favor. But good stuff there, Kyle. I got to say, fantastic job. You moved up. Only the one spot. Basically, what we're saying is you had good qualifying pace, and you managed to hold on to it. Tell us about how you feel for Road America.
Man, I tell you, like I told you guys last week, I love Road America. I should have translated last week into a podium, starting P2 this week. I started P4, but brother, I was just flying around the track, having the time of my life, feeling like a bald eagle. All right, having a great time in my screeching eagle machine, and it was a fantastic race. The undercut worked perfect, and I felt real comfortable the whole time.
I've never met a gentleman who is so well. Don't get me wrong, people are proud of where they're from, but you're so vibrant and passionate about it, and then with a little bit of dirty dancing in there as well, like with a bit of time of your life. Fair
Yeah,
play to you, but I've got to say, Carl, you've made me smile. Certainly, you're definitely smiling. You're going to be smiling again when you watch the broadcast. We only talked a little bit of trash about you, so nothing to worry about there.
that's
You got to
fair. No,
watch
I
it.
understand.
You got to watch it to find out. But in the 305 machine, fantastic stuff, looking good in that Mustang. But let's see, where are you guys going to be going next? Now, you were at Road America. Let's see where you're going. You're going to Suzuka next, so it's going to be a little bit of a long haul flight. Thankfully, WBM did manage to get you the upgrade to business class. Tell us a little bit about how you feel for the next venue.
I like sushi, but I haven't driven that track very much, so I don't know how the bald eagle machine's gonna rip around there. We're just gonna have to, lock in, do some practice with my boy Malik, and get it figured out.
Oh, fair play to you. And certainly, I'm not a big sushi fan either. Certainly, yeah, I find it's a little bit undercooked for my liking. But, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kyle Mills for WBM Racing, we build memories, and he certainly built some today. Third place in GT3 class.
Yes, sir.
Well, hopefully Kyle enjoys his business class seat because that was your seat, Zippy. We just bumped you into the storage compartment underneath.
Oh, dear. Rob, I understand you've been able to catch up with Parker Dime. Definitely a spicy race for him.
Yeah, Parker, congrats on the win. A little bit of I'm gonna say blinded by the sun a little bit into turn 14 there at the end. Talk us through what happened there.
No, I don't think I'm keeping this win, but I mean, yeah, if looking back at it right now, I thought he was gonna dip under the low line and take the apex from the Porsche, and I was gonna try and follow him, but when I was going right to follow him, he was just going straight to catch the apex. So it was just a misjudgment on my part. I'm probably not gonna keep this win, but definitely not how I wanted things to go.
No doubt. We kind of watched your battles on and off between you and Alberto Alvarez, more or less from the start to finish. You sat on pole, had some strong pace here. Obviously, you're feeling pretty good about your chances here at Road America. How are you feeling next week heading into Suzuka?
I mean, Suzuka's fun. I haven't been practicing very much, so I'll let you know how I feel 45 minutes before the race next Thursday because I don't know. So we'll see. But yeah, these guys are, good and competitive with the tire model now. It's hard to just hop in the car and have pace, but it seemed like I was doing pretty well out there. But again, sorry to Alberto. Not how I wanted to go. He deserved first, if not second. It was going to be close for sure.
Hats off to you owning up to the mistake, Parker. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
No, shout out to my parents, probably watching, my wife and WBM team. Shout out to Austin Diltz, who's taking care of his baby right now. That's why he's not
I
racing.
knew that was coming.
But yeah, that's it.
Best of luck next week to you, Parker, and hopefully we see you back up top again.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good night.
Oh, dear. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. These guys have been trash talking me on that for a while. And fair play to them, certainly. At least you know what. Credit to Austin. I'm at the point now where they've said it's BS, but I'm kind of starting. It's coming up so much. I'm starting to wonder, Rob. But I think that's just going to about wrap it up from us for here tonight. It's definitely an interesting race indeed. It had its moments for sure, and I don't know really, how it could have really gone any better. Certainly, there's a few incidents, but you're going to get that anytime you race, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, the good thing about the virtual world is it's a lot cheaper than the real life world. Certainly, nothing sucks more than seeing your friend wreck a race car. Although the meme photos that come after when you see something like a yellow CRX literally flying through the air are hilarious and actually reached international levels. Now, Anybody who knows me from the track racing series will very much be able to relate to that. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Pit Road Productions. We don't just do commentary on sim, we also do commentary in real life as well. But I think that's just about going to wrap it up here for round 7 of the Envy Simsports International Sports Car Challenge, sponsored by WBM Racing. And definitely, again, if you want to try and help support this series, by all means, reach out to Morgan Smith, send him a couple of dollars, or even better, buy some WBM merch. He literally puts the money straight back into the team. So that's just about does it here. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today was Rob, the sexy goatee Campbell. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you on Saturday for the Almeida Academy.